Hello, Facebook world. David Miller. As you know, every so often I like to share my thoughts. And today I'm going to be talking about how working with a new or part-time realtor can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Um, Being in the business for almost 20 years, I work with a lot of buyers agents and listing agents. What I typically find is that most of the buyer's agents are fairly new. And you may not know this, but 90% of the business which is done in real estate is typically done by only 10% of the realtors. That might be a head scratcher for you, but it's definitely true. Because the fact of the matter is that most realtors are part-time or new. And here's a fact is that when somebody gets their license, they have to renew it, I think, in 18 months or 2 years, something like that. When somebody gets their license for the first time, 85% of the time, they don't renew, okay? And the reason being is that people watch HGTV and they're like, all I got to do is show 3 homes and they always buy one. I can do that. And obviously it's TV, it's made for TV. It's not that. Obviously being a realtor is a lot of hard work and not many people last. And so it's so important when you are selling your biggest asset, typically, which is your house, that you work with the right person. It just amazes me sometimes when people are like, well, I want to help out my friend who just got into real estate. That's probably not a good idea because they're learning from the mistakes they make with you, and that could be a lot of money. Or I want to use my Aunt Susie, who hasn't done a deal in 10 years, but she has a real estate license. So it's not a good idea because it will cost you money. When I work with new agents, I try to help them along as much as possible, but they're doing a couple things that will cost their clients money. From a buyer perspective, let's say that your criteria is that, hey, I don't want to buy a house that has to have a new roof done or AC because I don't have that money set aside to do that. And what the typical realtor does is they'll put you on a home search on MLS, and they will say, hey, when you find something that comes across your desk, and keep in mind you're getting hundreds of emails every day, which we all get those emails. We don't want those. But when you find the house you like, let me know. Got that magic key to let you in. And so you say, I want to see this house, and they show you the property, and maybe you fall in love with it. And then you go under contract, and then the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to do a home inspection. Well, a home inspection is going to cost you some money. Depends on the size of the house, but let's say around $399, and maybe you're going to do a septic inspection as well. That's another $399, and maybe you're going to do a wood destroying organism inspection for termites, which I recommend, which is probably around $150, $175. So that all adds up. So you're under contract and you go through all this, and then you get the inspection report back. And then it says the roof is end of life or the AC is end of life. And the fact of the matter is that you just wasted all that money because you're going to say, if the seller's not going to pay for it, then I have to pay for it. We have to move on to the next house. And when you move on to the next house, you don't get that money back. The seller doesn't pay you back. That is your responsibility as a buyer. So because your agent did not do their due diligence and check the age of the primary stuff, the roof, electrical, hot water heater, those type of things, you're out of pocket about $800 to $1,000. So that's just an example of working with a new agent or inexperienced agent is going to cost you a couple $1,000s. So David, how can it cost me over $10,000? Well, let's flip it to the listing side. So if you're working with an agent who doesn't know the market and doesn't know the local market, and they are trying to help you price your house right, they could overprice it. And if they overprice it, your house is going to sit on the market for a longer period of time. And the longer your house sits on the market, the more it's going to depreciate. So compared to if you would have priced it right from day one, compared to it sitting on the market for a couple months and then finally selling for a lot less money, that's going to cost you $10,000. Or even worse, they could underprice it and they could leave money on the table and you get it sold under contract pretty quickly. However, it was underpriced, and if you would have priced it appropriately, you probably would have got more money. So those are just some examples, and I'm sharing that with you today because I just came across a situation with somebody who had their license for the last 30 years, but when I pulled them up in MLS, they've only done like 4 deals in the past 2 years. So they aren't in tune on what's going on in the current market. So it is so vitally important that you partner with the right agent that has the experience and the local knowledge to guide you through the home buying or selling process. Because if you don't, and if you just want to help out a friend, they're going to be learning through the mistakes they do with you. And that's going to cost you a lot of money with your biggest asset. And that's probably something you're not wanting to do, is it? I would not. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Hope that was helpful.